Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. In this video, I'm going to walk you over what is 1inch, very briefly touch upon that, and then show you how you can earn with the 1inch token. Even if you're a complete beginner to DeFi, to crypto, probably you already heard about 1inch. And actually they do offer a ton of things. Their network has many different services, but that's something I will touch upon in different videos. If you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments. But right now, we're gonna dive into the multiple ways you can earn with 1inch's native token, get some crypto passive income with one of the biggest protocols, and definitely the leading DEX aggregator in DeFi on Ethereum and Ethereum friendly blockchains. So let's dive in. And actually here on CoinGecko, we can see the all-time chart for the token. At some point it was at over $6, and this is a chart also for the past 3 months. For this period of time it has been a bit volatile. You can see that it went down to 14 cents, also it went up to roughly 25 cents, and right now it's somewhat in the middle. But you can actually earn by holding this token, yield farming it, staking it with 1inch protocol even, and that's actually what we will be covering on today's video. So before jumping into how we can earn with their native token, let me briefly cover what they are doing. Like they say here on their website, one-stop access to decentralized finance. So essentially 1inch is a DEX aggregator. And if you are used to centralized exchanges, you can just register your account there, buy whatever crypto you want. But with decentralized finance, with blockchain technology, that works a bit different. You gotta have your own Web3 wallet, you gotta know how to move your funds from blockchain to blockchain, and 1inch has been a leading protocol allowing people to swap in all of these blockchains. Recently they even expanded to Solana. You can see here they added Solana to their blockchain list. But 1inch made its name on BNB, on Ethereum, Ethereum layer 2s, essentially Ethereum friendly blockchains. And moving on to their Twitter page, we see that they claim to be the swap. Discover the beauty of all liquidity in a single place. That's actually what they offer. When you launch their dApp, then you only need to connect your wallet, then you select the tokens you want to swap. They even support cross-chain swapping. So for example, let's say you have Ethereum on Ethereum and you want to send Ethereum to Base. That's definitely possible because they do support cross-chain swaps. If instead you want to send your Ethereum to the BNB chain, also very much possible. So instead of using DEXs, you can definitely use 1inch because they are a layer above all the DEXs. DEXs are limited to their own liquidity pools. With 1inch, there's no such limit because they will tap into all liquidity pools in different blockchains that they support. Actually, they branded that tech 1inch Fusion Plus, swap across any chain, seamless cross-chain swaps that allow you to swap any tokens across supported networks with gasless execution and no extra fees. But if you want to earn with 1inch, there's mostly two options. You can buy a bag of 1inch tokens and then come here on their application, app.1inch.io, click on the DAO tab, and then you see there's staking options. Staking takes just 2 steps. You stake your 1inch tokens to receive unicorn power, and then you need to delegate your unicorn power, which allows you also to start receiving rewards. Essentially, this is how staking works. With 1inch Fusion, you can stake 1inch tokens to receive unicorn power. Then subsequently delegate your unicorn power to a 1inch Fusion resolver to start receiving delegation incentives from them. Incentives accrue every second after you delegate it. When you stake, there's an option to set a custom or preset lock period. Important to note that your staked 1inch tokens cannot be unstaked or withdrawn without penalty until your designated lock period expires. They have a penalty structure formula here, but the key thing you need to know is that the penalty for unstaking 1inch tokens will decrease with time. When your locking period expires, in other words, when it comes to 0, in that case no penalty will be applied. And of course, the longer your lock period is, the more UP tokens you will receive. Both the withdrawal penalty and the amount of held unicorn power will decrease with time. So in practice, this is how staking works. One, you launch the dApp, then you'll need to connect your wallet. Once you do that, you can come here to the DAO tab and click on staking. Now from here, you just need to input the amount of tokens you want to stake and also for how long. That will be your locking period. Then you just need to click give permission and stake. You sign the transaction in your wallet, then it should be a done deal. From here on, you'll be able to see the amount of tokens staked, your locking period, and the total unicorn power. The longer the lock period you choose, the higher the APY you will earn from staking 1-inch tokens. Essentially, longer commitment grants you more unicorn power. And if you're wondering, the max lock period is actually 2 years. Then you can strategically delegate your unicorn power. You can do this by choosing a resolver, and there will be different rewards for each resolver. So you'll be able to pick one from the list. There's a ton of them actually. They will differ in network share, in max APR, daily rewards. So if you go with the one who has the highest network share, that's actually the one which will be able to bring you the highest daily rewards. As you can see, if we keep scrolling down, there's a ton more down the list that you can pick from. At some point in time, you'll see these NA, non-applicable, so avoid those ones. Keep with the ones which are still active. You see there's a max APR here, so depending on how long your locking period is, you'll be able to earn this max APR or not. As you can see here, you may get maximal APR of 7.2% on this one by staking all your 1-inch tokens for 2 years, the maximum locking period. Once you delegate your unicorn power, you will immediately start earning rewards from the resolver. At any point in time, you can choose to undelegate entirely or claim rewards. The rewards actually are paid in the 1-inch token. I didn't mention that so far, but that's how the protocol pays you. If at some point you find that you should change delegator, you can also do that. Simply choose the resolver you would like to delegate to and click delegate. Then you click undelegate and delegate again and sign the transaction in your connected wallet. It will take care of everything for you in the back end. So the whole process of undelegating and moving your unicorn power to a new delegator will be done very simply in just that same step. So this is a way you can earn with 1-inch by involving yourself more deeply with the protocol. I would consider this to be medium risk just because of the overall volatility of the crypto market and the fact that this requires long time periods for you to reap the highest amount of rewards. But there's actually other ways we can use the 1-inch token to earn passive income, and that is by providing liquidity to one of these many liquidity pools. So we already have 10 results here from the list, 10 different pools. Let's go quickly to see which ones will perform the best. So starting with the first one, $1.5 million liquidity. The volume compared to the liquidity is extremely low. Probably this pool is not all that profitable, although it's a very old pool. You see, almost 3.5 years old. Then we have 1-inch paired with Uni token, also a V3, so it's a concentrated liquidity pool. Liquidity $136K, volume double than what we saw before. So potentially, although this is a different liquidity pair, this will perform much better. As long as the volume is the same, in this pool it will be more rewarding to users because there's less competition, there's less liquidity in it. Then we have again 1-inch paired with Ethereum. This is a V4 pool, so it's the latest tech when it comes to liquidity pools on Uniswap. Volume extremely low, very deep liquidity though, so it's virtually earning zero yield right now just because of that. It has a lot of liquidity, very low volume, which doesn't mean that in the future things might not change. Now we have the first result here showing up on the BNB chain, 1-inch paired with BNB, $17,000 liquidity, $3,600 in volume, also an old pool over 2 years old. So actually, when it comes to volume to liquidity ratio, I believe this is the best performing one we came across so far, which is surprising to me. I was expecting to see better performing pools on the Ethereum chain. So this is a Uniswap V2. It's not all that much competitive compared with the V3. You'll get the best results with those type of pools. So this one once again is on the BNB chain, 1-inch paired with the stablecoin, really low volume, the liquidity is not all that deep. One other on the BNB chain, this is 1-inch paired with BLZ. I'm not sure what BLZ is, so I'm gonna skip for that. So let's go ahead and see what else we have. 1-inch paired with BNB, 10K liquidity, $86 volume. And on this one, $2,200 liquidity and volume $136. So from this quick look, I would say stick with 1inch paired with Ethereum, with BNB, with Uni, potentially with the stablecoin, but later on we'll take a look into the correlation matrix to see which of these pools is the most worth it. All of the pools that we saw here, for the most part, are on the Uniswap DEX, but we will just focus on the BNB chain and on the Ethereum chain because those were the pools we just saw to be the most potentially profitable ones. Although do have in mind that providing liquidity is going to be high risk when compared with the staking we saw earlier on, okay? But as always, high risk, high reward, so potentially it can also yield more than compared with staking. So we're gonna go and start by looking at the pools here on the Ethereum blockchain. So let's sort this out by APR. Now 1inch paired with Uni definitely standing out with 26% APR, just like what we saw on Gecko Terminal. Then we have 1inch with the stablecoin USDT, although very low TVL on this one, and then 1inch paired with Ethereum. So let's look at this with more detail and let's jump into 1inch paired with Uni. So this one seems to be performing much better when it comes to volume. There's not all that much competition when it comes to liquidity, as you can see. So potentially, if you don't mind holding Uni token, this can be better yielding than compared with 1inch paired with Ethereum. So let's once again see all the other pools. Let's go with this one, 1inch paired with Ethereum. This seems to be a solid choice. For the most part, we see an average at around 100k, 200k in volume, and right now it's even lower than that, so it will get you yield over time. Yeah, just don't expect something crazy like 0.5% a day, 1% a day. That's something that will happen, yeah, but only in these high volume days where we see the volume exponentially being higher than the liquidity. So for the long run, yeah, this could be definitely a pool if you're looking to have your tokens sitting there for long periods of time. But now let's see what type of pools we can find with 1inch on the BNB chain, still here on Uniswap though, because on PancakeSwap there's not all that much opportunities in comparison. So let's see here, pools, sort this by APR. So definitely higher APRs here, 52% 1inch paired with BNB, with USDT 105%, but the TVL here is really low. So let's see this one, 1inch paired with BNB. This seems to be by far the best option. Let's see here the 1 year volume record for the pool. So yeah, just like we saw with the previous pools, definitely this is when the market was the most active, November, December of 2024, and then the market toned down. But still, this type of volume we see here, 39k, 20k, even 6k in a pool that is under $5,000, this can generally create good yield over time, because there's less competition, right? For example, yesterday this had 2.1k in volume, which is roughly half than the TVL. It's a 0.3% fee tier, so it's not all that bad. And it would be much worse if the TVL was 1 million or 500,000, for example. So if you're potentially looking to hold 1inch on the BNB chain, this can definitely be a good option in my opinion. Now let's move on to DeFi Llama's correlation matrix to see which pool pairs will be the best. So 1inch paired with Ethereum does really well, at least did for the past year, 93% correlation, followed by 1inch paired with Uni, and then 1inch paired with BNB. It doesn't perform all that well when paired with a stable coin, so that's probably something we want to avoid. Yeah, so especially for the last month, it has been negatively correlated. And for the past week, the same thing just keeps on happening. So probably this is a pair that you want to avoid. While actually all the other options here, Ethereum, BNB, Uni, they are very, very strongly correlated, even for the past week or for the past month. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Now you know how you can earn with one of the top DEX aggregators in DeFi, 1inch. They have much more products other than what we discussed today. I'll save those for other videos. So if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll get back to you. If you're curious about 1inch, I did other videos to show you more about what they are offering. I'll link those at the end of this video so you can check those out. That being said, guys, thank you for watching. If you took value from the video, if you enjoyed this type of content, like and subscribe for more. I'm going to wrap this one up. Take care. Keep exploring crypto. I'll see you on the next one.